Welcome back again, guys, with another live show on the channel. It is, of course, the match review and player ratings from yesterday's 2-1 away down to Spurs yesterday. And I've got John and Tony with me. How are you all, guys?
Welcome back again, Pete.
Absolutely
fine, mate.
Good. Still buzzing from last night. We all definitely are. Absolutely, yes.
Peter's just some breaking news from Sky there. Apparently that it's all over about Emery coming over. But have you heard the latest? Apparently, when he comes over and he starts, it won't be till after the Newcastle game.
I've seen that, yes. So
that's
again,
deliberate.
It could be. Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, I find it a strange decision, I must admit. Anyway, guys, if you do enjoy tonight's live show, please, of course, do hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button, of course, if you are new to the channel. Or if you join the content and you're not yet subscribed, feel free to donate. We do have Super Chat available. Feel free to become a member as well for just 99p. Hit the notification bell because it will let you know whenever I am live or when there's a video being uploaded to the channel as well. And I do have John's channel in the description, John Sinclair TV, and Tony's channel, which he just started this Saturday. It's all black and white TV. Please do check them out and subscribe if you haven't already done so yet. So we'll rattle through some comments. What's your thoughts on Emery? It's a funny one, I must admit.
Wow.
It's strange.
Very. Absolutely strange, that. But big up to Villa fans. Yeah. Big up to Villa for getting him, by the way. I think that is a cracking appointment. But they must back him. They're going to have to back him to the hill now. I think he'll get them out of trouble, in my opinion. But he's going to have to make some huge changes on top of the bottom. Because I don't think these players are going to cope with the Emery style of play at all whatsoever. It's going to be tactical. Can he cope with it? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, Tony?
Yeah, it's a strange one for me. You know, you look at the likes of Coutinho and that. I don't think they're going to be there much longer, if I'm honest. I don't think Coutinho set the world. Like, to be fair, when he's come back to the Premier League, yeah, he was okay on loan, but other than that, I don't think he's done a lot, and he's been sitting on the bench for a few games now. Yeah, I just think it's a strange one, but if he keeps them up, then he keeps them up. But if he doesn't, that, you know, it might all end in tears, and you know, and it might be not the sub on the time from the Hull end; it'll be sub on the Hull end. That's what it'll be.
It could,
and you know what? I would love them to go down, because after the way they've treated us when we went down, when they sent us down through Damien Duff's own goal, we don't forget what they said to us, and we'll never forget and never forgive either.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
Leave says thoughts on Richard Keys says we should move to London to attract better players. We were discussing this before, and it's like, wow, why? I don't like Richard Keys anyway. Is he forgetting Man City in London? Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Hi, Pierre, John, Tony. I'm still delighted with that result and performance yesterday. Of course, John, we were doing the watch along as well, and what another win it was there for us.
Absolutely. I mean, Pete, what it is, right? I mean, what Eddie Howe's done for this club, right, is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. He's changed the culture at the football club, right? He's making poor players much better. Joe Linton, well documented. He's playing like a £40 million player now, you know. His work rate is there, and he tracks back and helps the defence, which is lovely to see. Miggy Almiron, right? This guy cannot stop scoring goals. 6 in 12. He scored 6 in pre-season as well, by the way. Let's not forget that, by the way. The one thing I'm going to say, guys, right? I mean, I see him being top scorer. No, not top scorer. I think see him being player of the season. And also, what I'm going to say as well, I'll go with what Tony's been saying. I think he get double figures this season, the way he is playing. And can you remember for a couple of seasons, right? Everyone sorted out Miggy, right? He has sussed him out, yeah? Didn't he? He was so scared taking on players, yeah? He just played with his handbrake on, yeah? I've noticed that. But Spurs found out to their cost how good this guy is. And if I was a Tottenham fan, I asked myself the question, what has Eddie Howe done to this team? what he has done, because I tell you what, if I was a Tottenham fan, I'd say, you know what, go and get Eddie Howe in, go and break the band and get this guy over. But that's not going to happen anytime soon. But what they've done, and Sven Botman, are going to be real now, people. Sven Botman is world class, right? He is world class. When I say a world class player there, I see a one. Yeah, Sven Botman, that guy, he is the Rolls Royce in that defense, right? He is so calm on the ball. He tackles when it needs to be tackled. He reads the game like a book, right? He might not be quick, but he is dynamite. He's good in the air, and he plays the ball out from the back absolutely beautifully, like, with no pressure whatsoever, Harry. He pockets Harry Kane yesterday. Okay, Proudlock goal. He put him in his pocket. Pocketed him. The whole of the game. I don't think Kane got near him. He had one shot, two shots on goal. One scored and poked him. After that, where was he? Oh, he had another shot over the bar as well. But, I mean, Tottenham, I'm going to be honest with you guys, Tottenham will not make top 4 this season. They won't, because they have been found out. If you nullify Harry Kane, nullified Son, you win the game. When Kulusevski comes back, he'll make a difference. Or Charleston will make a difference, but I don't think Spurs are playing well at all whatsoever. They're not. And we were a better team. Again, we are a better team than Tottenham. We're better than United. We were fantastic against Everton in the first half. Yeah. And even against Man City. Newcastle United, right, I think could be their season and break into the top 4. If they do that, and the way we're playing in a minute, we lost 1 game this season, by the way, drawn a lot of games, I think Newcastle will be in the top 4 this season. We could be in number 3. Keep going. We could be in number 3. Yep. Who knows?
Could well be, yes, absolutely. Tony, your thoughts on the game as well? I mean, we just said it was another great win for us.
Yeah, fantastic win. When the game kicked off, I sat back and I thought, right, come on, now I want to see how far we can push these. And my prediction last week when I had Macy on the show, I said to Macy 2-1 to us. And when we done a show, Pete, I said 2-1 and you said 3-2. So we both went by the odd goal. But I got my score out. I wished I'd put a bet on this now because I could have had some money. But yeah, no, I mean, we start off sloppy and some of our passing was a bit wayward and sloppy. And I thought, this isn't us, Son had a couple of shots. The first one after 2 minutes that went just over the bar. But he doesn't look the player he is normally, Son. So I don't know what's up with him. He looks a bit off this season. Thankfully, he was off yesterday. But then we grew into the game. And then we started the pressing. We started the intensity, which is our identity. And we started doing that. And the more we pressed them, the more we were making them make mistakes because they were making mistakes because they didn't know where to put the ball. Do we pass it? Do we pass it back? Because, they didn't have a clue. Eric Dyer was proof of that. He scored an own goal. That would be a hell of an own goal had that gone in. And then, it shows you how panicked they are. I mean, sharp ball over the top. Perfect ball. Perfectly weighted ball from Fabian Schär, by the way. Over the top. Wilson ran to it. Obviously, Lloris panic come running out of his area, clattered into Wilson. Lloris falls on the floor as if Wilson had really hurt him, but he hadn't. And then Wilson carried on playing, got the ball over the defenders, over the goal. I mean, like I say, it was surprising how quickly Lloris got up off the floor, considering he was supposed to be badly hurt. Just shows you how much he was diving about. And fair play to the referee, allowing the game to continue until the goal went in. And VAR had a look at it and said, yeah, it was fine. Nothing wrong with it. So VAR were happy with it. Gallagher today said on Ref Watch, he was happy with it.
Yeah.
So the correct decision was made there. Then Miggy left for dead and got through. And again, his shot went in off Lloris's body. Maybe Lloris should have done better. But I don't care. I don't care how much he wants to make mistakes, Lloris. The more the better. So we were 2-0 up at half time. Their fans were on their back. This is what I was loving. I was like, yes, this is what we need. We need the fans on their back. This plays into our hands then. And then second half, we shot a penalty. They go up the other end. Botman concedes a corner because he's put in a great tackle in the box. And then, you know, Trippier may have just had a little lapse in concentration with Harry Kane. Allowed Kane in to header it. Then there was a lengthy VAR check to see if it actually come off the body or the head of Davison Sanchez. If there was a slight touch, it's hard to prove that's the thing, and that's why they couldn't prove it. So I suppose in that way, if you can't prove it's a definite touch, then you've got to give the goal. You know, it's unless you got some like an ultra edge, which they have in cricket, but you don't have that in football, so you can't be sure of that. But no, other than that, no. And then we held out, but Pope didn't have another save to make in that game. Got a booking for a bit of time wasting, but I call it a bit of shithousery because that's exactly what we are now. We show a bit of shithousery towards Tottenham, and we'll do it against Liverpool when they visit St James's Park. I'm telling you now. But we got the 3 points. We got the win. We finished in the top 4. We have sent a message clearly to the Big Six now. There is no such thing now as a Big Six because we're in that mix now. It's the Big 7 now. But the problem is the 7th team, that is us. We're coming for every single one of yous. And we are going to overtake every single one of yous eventually. So they need to beware. And and a fantastic win. If we go to the World Cup with just one game lost, I'll be happy with that. And that's been a great start this season. And the World Cup gives a welcome break to the guys, gets them fit again, take them off to Riyadh, give them some warm weather training, you know, and get them ready for Boxing Day when the fixtures resume. So, yeah, overall, fantastic 3 points. Conte is on drugs when he's saying that they should have drew 2-2. I watched his interview. Yes, somebody said last night he looked drunk. Yes, he did. He looked absolutely pissed out of his brains. I don't know what was with him. But I don't know if he's had too much Italian wine or whatever. But definitely, we did what we did. We went there, got the 3 points. Thank you very much, Tottenham. Take them back home. Put us in 4th place because thanks, Man U and Chelsea for drawing 1-1.
Absolutely, indeed.
You know what it is, right? We've taken a point of Man City, 3 off Tottenham, and a point of United. So that's 5 points we've taken off them. Last season, we would not have taken 0. But we picked up 5 points. So really, we're 5 points off the top 6, the so-called Big 6.
Yep.
And also, Man U, Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham all got to come to St James's Park next year. And if we win those games, then we can start believing. And I hope I know people are saying that we're not really Champions League football yet, but we will improve in January. And when we do improve in January, look where we are on the table. Top 4, get a couple of players in, beef up the squad, and I'll tell you something, we're going to go for it. We really will. We
certainly are, indeed, definitely. Philip says, Miggy just can't stop scoring, have an amazing season. Loads better than Jack Grealish. I mean, Jack Grealish will be looking like a right twat right now.
Grealish in the mud.
Yes, absolutely, yes. Liam says, can't believe Jimmy Redknapp assumes Wilson's goal should have counted. It was a goal all day long, Tony. I mean, Lloris runs more into Wilson than Wilson touches Lloris.
Absolutely. And it's not only that, Pete. If you look at Wilson's positioning, he's looking at the ball and he hasn't even got his arm on Lloris. He's not even touching Lloris.
He's not.
And he just bumps into Wilson. Wilson just stays on his feet. Lloris goes down like like he's got high heels on. He's just fell over in the street, He just went down too easily. So... But that's what I'm saying. The funny thing is, he got back up to try and head out the ball to try and stop it going in the back of the net. So he couldn't have been that badly hurt. He was just trying to see if con the referee and see if the referee would give him the protection, but he didn't. And fair play to the referee not giving him the protection as well. We need to see more of that in the Premier League, and I think we will now. But that was definitely not a foul. No way whatsoever. And for Jamie Redknapp to say that, what a fool. But the thing is, though, Redknapp is ex-Spurs and ex-Liverpool.
Yeah.
So he is going to say that about his team. But then again, you look at Les Ferdinand. He's also not only played for us, but he played for Spurs, so he's ex-Spurs. But even Les Ferdinand said, you look at that from a striker's point of view, he says, and I'm looking at it from my strikers union, that's a goal all day. There's no foul whatsoever. So big up Les Ferdinand and shame on you, Jamie Redknapp.
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely.
Emery is the Villa manager. Yeah, we said, yep, that has been confirmed. Will not take charge of games against us. We aren't ready for Champions League football, but you said, John, we'll be strengthening it again in January. So
yeah, we will do. We will do. Don't worry about that. I mean, we get the right players coming in. We definitely need another midfielder as well, if we can. And do we need a right-side midfielder for competition for Miggy? That'd be interesting. And you know, we need competition in all areas. So you need to strengthen that as well. Yeah. And maybe strikers position, we don't really need a striker because we've got Isak and Wilson as well. So we already got two quality strikers on the books as well. But we could do with another left winger as well as competition for ASM. So if he gets injured, got someone's going to come and ready to go, and that person could actually push us through.
Absolutely, yeah. Mudryk, yes, would be great. Heung-min Son, definitely a shadow of the player from last season. Why do you think he's been on a goal drought this season, John? I mean, only 3 goals this season. What do you think is going wrong there?
I think it's down to the Conte system. Look, I'm a Conte fan, and obviously I love Italian football. And he's a champion. He's a winner. Whether he's been Juventus, Inter Milan, right? Chelsea, he's done it at Chelsea, yeah. For me, personally, I just think it's a style of player. I mean, we all know Spurs are not playing well, but they're getting the results. It's simple as that. But I think they play with the handbrake on. You know, when you just like to sit back and then hit them on the counter. Simple as that. But out of Pochettino, right, they play attacking football, yeah. They would just love scoring goals. They're on the attack all the time, which is cool. But I just think it's down to the style of player. And I just don't think he's quite used to it as well. But at the end of the day, right, he has been poor this season. He's a shadow of himself, right? I'm not going to lie. Yeah. And I think he's lost a lot of confidence as well. I mean, the shot he had after in the first and second minute, shot straight to Nick Pope, and he went for a curling shot where he landed on top of it instead of the back of the net. And then that little messy chip, which didn't come off at all, he might have scruffed the sort of thing, and Nick Pope did well to save. Other than that, we have not seen this guy. What's happened to Heung-min Son? This is not the Heung-min Son that I knew that I love. I'm not going to lie. But at the end of the day, right, what's he now, 29, 30? I think
he's into his 30s now, exactly.
Yeah, I think he's 30. And I honestly think, right, it's just not working. It's just the style of play is just not working for him at all whatsoever, sort of thing. Has he had enough of Tottenham? Does he want a new challenge? Don't know. And would you take him at Newcastle United in the summer?
Oh, I think he's a cracking player. I would definitely have him in my side because he's a cracking player. But you're just thinking how it could be Conte's system that is stopping him from that he's been on a goal drought this season. It really, really could be that. Philip says Miggy definitely should be October Premier League Player of the Month. He could well be. I think he deserves that. Andrew, good evening. Hope you're well. Hey, lads, we've got Bruno in the middle. There you are. I love that new chat now. It's so good, isn't it?
How does the song go? Don't sing it, but I say we've got Bruno in the middle. You know exactly what he means.
We've got Bruno in the middle. He knows exactly what we need. And then it's Botman at the back, Isak in attack. Newcastle's going to win the Premier League.
Oh, I like that. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Absolutely. Andrew says Jamie Redknapp is an utter prick. Yeah. However, what I will give credit on Jamie Redknapp is what he said about Sven Botman, Tony.
Yeah. He's praised Botman. He said, Botman's, for 22, he's doing well as a centre half, and he could be one of the best centre halves to come. I mean, but Botman's been brilliant, since he's come in the team. And I still look and wonder why he was dropped against Bournemouth. You know, I can't believe that, because I think if he was playing, they wouldn't have scored that goal, Bournemouth. But yeah, I mean, he's terrific. You know, if we've got another 10 years out of him, I mean, Jesus, how far can this guy go? You know, I mean, he could be a future captain for us as well. You know, the day when Trippier hangs up his boots, and he may take the mantle of being captain in Newcastle. And I quite believe he could be. But I think Trippier's still got another couple of years in him yet. So, you know, Botman might have to wait. But this guy, I mean, yeah, £35 million to snip. And it's going to prove a hell of a bargain. And, you know, if we had to replace Cher eventually, when we will do, because he's 30 now, isn't he? So, but when we do eventually replace Cher, then, yeah, it'll still be somebody as good or better than what Cher is. Because that's what you always look at. You look at either the same or better. I mean, there is one defender that I would love to see us bring into the club. The only thing is, he probably wouldn't get in the team. But it's Benoit Badiashile. I think he's a hell of a centre-back. And he's only 22, 21 as well. So he's another young centre-back who can come in. But then again, you play him alongside Botman. 10 years they've got. Botman 22, he's 21. Badiashile from Monaco. You know, the two of them, I mean, they'll be 31, 32 respectively in 10 years' time. Imagine how well they could be, you know. So, you know, there's all sorts out there. But no, Botman has just been absolutely fantastic. And
yes.
The thing is now, Lascelles gets nowhere near that centre-half pairing now. Nowhere near it now. I think Lascelles probably in January should ask to be saying, look, I think it's time I should be moving on, because, you know, he will probably play in the Carabao Cup against Crystal Palace at St James's Park, but that's the only time he's going to play.
Yep.
I think, if anything, Lascelles should just say, look, I want to go in January. And I think the club should say, right, okay, fair enough, and bring somebody else in, or bring Callum Wilson back from Peterborough.
Yeah, possibly could do that. Yeah, I mean, Lascelles is captain, but he's not getting any games. He's lost out because we've got better players in front ahead of him now. That's the thing. Chris says Lloris went down like a stone as soon as he realised he had lost the ball. Absolutely, he did a reverse dive. I like Covey's back in the house again. Botman is a beast. Unlucky that Haaland scored on him with the ball pinballing around the box and beat Ronaldo and kept Kane relatively quiet. Great bit of business. Absolutely. He has been a great bit of business.
Beautiful.
Chris says Villa might be better with Dick Emery.
You probably do a better job. Do you know what it is, though, right? You look at it and you think, I mean, I look at it and I say, that's a downgrade for Emery going there, right? But if you think of all the players that Aston Villa have bought in that, right? So they've bought like Diego Carlos. We were looking at Diego Carlos. They got Coutinho. We were looking at Coutinho. They've now got Emery. You know, we were in for Emery. How about the call ourselves Aston Castle United?
Exactly.
Yes. Oh, and they got Boubacar Kamara, who we wanted as well. So yeah, they are. There's 3 players plus a manager.
Yes, that's it. Maybe his Conte style isn't working for Son. It could not be at the moment. He was quite fast and on counter-attack, and he has the pace, related to Son. Nottingham Forest victory against Liverpool, unbelievable result. Can't see Liverpool winning the title, might even struggle to get the top 4. It could well be.
Yes. Yeah, I think so, Pete. I mean, that was a shock result because nobody saw that coming, you know. I can't remember what Macy said now. I think she said about 4 or 5-0 to Liverpool, and I said, 3-1 Liverpool. But, you know, fair play to Forest. They got the goal through an ex-Liverpool striker as well, Anoini. So, Anonmi, or however you pronounce his name, but he got the goal against Liverpool, and I mean, you know, played well and held up, and although Liverpool had all the possession, but apparently the end of the day, end of the game, Klopp turned around and said, "Oh, by the way, it was because of our finish and we didn't win the game." Well, no, I'm sorry. At the end of the day, you got to, he does not want to give any opposition teams credit whatsoever, that guy. And, the guy's just a total utter bellend, in my opinion. Well, at least if that had been Guardiola, you might have said, what, fair play to the other side. Like he did with us when we drew with them 3-3. He said it was a totally different game last season. He says, this season we'll face a different team altogether. He says a much better team. And, and he was fair play about it. But yeah, well done, Forest. And I mean, if anything, I can see them getting out of this now.
They could well do. I mean, they've still got time, lots of time to try and turn it around. Philip says the big boys will be fearful of playing at us, and they certainly are now. Going to be. They really are going to be. Looking forward to watching Botman in the World Cup. I'm just praying he just doesn't get injured. That's the thing. Oh,
yeah.
Hopefully not.
Let's hope not.
Forest outplayed Liverpool. I agree, they did.
Can I comment about Botman, right? I think LVG, Lewis Van Gaal, is going to play theatre back, and he's got his first choice 3 centre-backs. Bruno Martins, Indies, one of them, plays Altmar, and he's going to be in his first team. And that's how it is. Virgil van Dijk is another one's going to be in the team, and I think there's one more as well is going to play at the back as well for the Dutch. But Sven Botman would just be a reserve player. So he'd be in the squad, he'd be in the World Cup, but he would not be in the starting lineup.
Well, he could. That's a possibility. You see. Paul says Keys came out and said we want to track players because we aren't in London. He, Man City, and said we should move to the team to London. What a complete tool.
Can I just say something to that as well? Put a touch on that around. I mean, I'm going to say something about Richie Keys, right? He just loves to wind Newcastle United fans up here, right? He just loves to wind them up here. Him and Andy Greer, all right? Those two guys are finished as pundits. They're finished, right? They're irrelevant, right? I don't take them serious anymore. I never have, never will do, right? They're just absolutely jealous. Why do you not say the same thing about Man City, Man United, and tell them to go to London? Tell Liverpool to get a camp base in London, right? And they're telling us and saying about it's got restaurants in London, they don't bother you in the capital. I get that, London's a capital city, right? It's a cracking city, right? Don't get us wrong. Parts of it is fine, but everything doesn't surround London. In Italy, right? You've got 5 or 6 wonderful cities in Italy: Rome, Florence, Milan, right? Turin, Naples, Bologna, right? And they got wonderful cities there. And why does everything have to revolve around London, right? London is not everything, right? Newcastle, right? Unless you've been in Newcastle, right, you don't know now. If you don't know everything in Newcastle, right, go and speak to players like Laurent Robert, David Ginola, Les Ferdinand, Alan Shearer, right? And they tell you exactly what the stadium is all about. So Richard Keys, Andy Gray, your elephant, shut your mouths, right? If you don't know what to say about Newcastle United, don't bother.
Exactly. What amazes me is why they're still in punditry after they got sacked from Sky for a reason. Why should they be allowed to stick into that kind of job still on another platform?
Exactly. Totally agree. Go on, Tony.
Because Al Khalifi, who owns Behind Sports, who employed them, who owns PSG, thinks that great and thinks they're doing a wonderful job for Behind Sports. But Hairy Hands, and that's why I'll call him Hairy Hands because that's exactly what he is. Mm-hmm. He wanted to stop our takeover. Yes, he was so anti-takeover against the Saudis and everybody, and yet he's working for a corporation who's owned by Qatar, whose own human rights are so bad as well. And the thing is, like I said, are probably worse than Saudi Arabia, if I'm honest with you. And yet he thinks it's all right to keep shouting his mouth off at Newcastle. At the end of the day, we're a one-club city, and we've got a stadium in the city centre. How many teams have got that? Not only that, what gets me is when people like him come out and say things like, oh, well, by the way, this shouldn't happen, you shouldn't be here. Sorry, at the end of the day, you're too northern for people to come. No, we're not, because Man City's in the north. Manchester United's in the north. They're in the northwest.
Yep.
Liverpool's in the northwest. So don't tell me or don't tell any fan that people won't come here because they'd rather be in London. If that's the case, why do big players go to Man City? Why do big players go to Man United? Why do big players go to Liverpool? Because they're in the north. They're nowhere near London. Not even anywhere near Birmingham either. So the man is a prat. Needs to keep his mouth shut. And, you know, and the thing is, the end of the day, Richard Keys lost his job. And we all know why he lost his job off Sky. Through messing around with somebody's daughter.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. Yep, absolutely.
Agree.
Davey says shit supplier Tony. He's got.
Oh yeah, Castori, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope Holland go out in the group stage, says Andrew. If it was that ridiculous, even Andy was looking at him with a what the fuck look on his face. I mean, I can't get over Andy Gray as well, I've got to admit. But
I can't.
Leicester City's also out to jump the bottom three. Yes, they did. Harry Kane, apart from the goal, was pretty anonymous, just kept on whinging when decisions went against him. Yep, he certainly did.
He whinged about the goal as well, Pete, didn't he? When, you know, after the Lloris debacle and he was having to go to the referee, especially when he pointed to the centre circle and said, oh, it's a goal. And he was like, oh, hang on a minute, what's going on here? You know, the guy's just a muppet.
Yeah. I can't read Davey's comment on me streaming, but I can see it on YouTube as well. He said he's worked in London and it's a shithole.
Yes.
I mean, it's too busy. It's far too busy.
Yeah, but how much crime do you see in London? I mean, no disrespect to London, right? But how many times do you put the news on and the amount of crime that's going on in London, you know? Nearly every day somebody's been, or nearly every couple of days it's in the news, somebody's being stabbed in London or shot, you know?
Yeah, that's it.
I couldn't live in London. I wouldn't want to. I don't hate the place as such, but if I've ever gone there for a visit, I like to just get round and get back out of there because you don't know who's behind you or whatever, you know, but it's too much London. I try and keep out of it if I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Harry Hans gets a bit crazy around October the 30th.
It's his great name, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Andrew says, got zero time for Keys and Gray. Yeah, just cannot stand Richard Keys. Total prat, so full of himself. Yeah. Andrew also says, maybe Harry Mitchell do a live podcast outside the Gallagher regarding the club moving to London. I'm sure you'll get lots of hits. In Glasgow, Keys is a ball bag. Yes, he is. West Ham are 1-0 up against Bournemouth. Yes, there is. But scored by a person who still should be playing football. Have a guess who?
What scored?
Bowen. Is it Bowen?
Nope.
What, a West Ham player? Paqueta?
Nope.
Back.
It should not be playing football, really.
Oh, Kuma.
Yeah, Kurt Zuma.
Kurt Zuma.
Good.
Yeah,
Zuma.
absolutely. Read a report that we went after Neymar for 350 million in the last window. You could build a whole squad of quality for that price. Yeah, you can do.
I wouldn't have him. I just would not have him at all whatsoever. And I'll tell you for why I wouldn't have him, because you probably upset the changing room, dressing room as well. Like I said, we need someone with the right attitude, and someone's going to come in, because our dressing room is absolutely fantastic. You know, team spirit is there. He can come in and upset the squad as well with his attitude. Great player, but I wouldn't have him.
Yeah, absolutely. Cedar Villa have just signed as their manager, decent appointment for them. That it is, yeah, but it's a funny one for me as well. Loads of crime, streets full of gangs. Yep, the gold stands. Zuma, the cat kicker. Yep, he'll always be remembered for that. Jesse March to be sacked, baffling how far they've fallen down after that 3-0 win against Chelsea. Yep, absolutely. Second goal scored by us, John. I mean, Miggy is just at it again. The way he was on the ball, so skillful. I just knew to get that shot on his left foot to just put that in the bottom corner.
Do you know what it is, right? I mean, there's a reason why Barca were quite happy to lend Spurs and Lenglet, right? Because let's be real, right? I mean, he got done for pace, didn't he? Then Lloris was the problem as well. Sesson should have dealt with the situation. He didn't. Longstaff got there first, and he went left Lenglet for dead. I tell you something, he was so confident as well. This is a real Miggy Almiron that I would like to see him treasure.
Yep.
That guy, right? He's been an absolute revolution this summer. He really, really has. This is going to be a big season for him. And, you know, don't get us wrong, I was one of the critics by the way, saying that he's not good enough for Newcastle United. Probably should get him to move to Spain. But at the end of the day, the way he's playing, I think he should be our player of the season. I think he could be the difference in getting us into the Champions League. And as we, Miggy, Isak, ASM, we have pace to burn up front, and we are going to be interchanging as well. But cracking goal, great finish for the Paraguayan, and you can tell how happy he was scoring that goal. 6-5, or is it 6-5? Yeah, 6-5. That guy, I tell you something, he can save us a lot of money in the transfer market in Jan. Big up, Miggy.
Absolutely, really, really can do. I mean, Tony, sorry. It was just a great goal from him, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic, you know, and it's not just his goal, it's his actual work rate's even better as well. And, you know, Eddie Howe's got him playing so well, and it just shows you he wasn't given the... We know under Cabbage Head he didn't get the game time he should have had. But then the thing is, Cabbage Head does not get the best out of players. How you get the best out of Cabbage Head is if you give him kebab or a few sausage rolls from Greg's. But you know, and we know that, Pete and John, don't we? We know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if when he signed the contract, mate, actually he said, "Oh, if we win, can I have a bonus? Can I have 20 kebabs?"
Oh, amazing, man.
Miggy could get into most Premier League teams now the way he's playing. Yeah, he really could.
Yeah.
6 goals and 5, or is it 6 and 6? I think it was 6 goals and 5, wasn't it? Michael Carrick, the new Middlesbrough head coach, yeah, seen that as well. Conte getting criticism from Spurs fans despite being third in the league. Isn't it unfair, or is it fair?
Could do all it is, right? I mean, I can understand why Spurs fans aren't happy with the style of play. Yeah, I know they're third in the league, but at the end of the day, right, Spurs fans could understand why the way Conte is playing. They want to see attacking football. They're not getting what they're seeing, and that is why they're not very happy at all. Now, we was third in the league, right? And we didn't play attacking football, right? We were playing like the hoofball, like Stevie's football. I say it'd be a lucky third because we are still not playing attacking football we like to see, right? But at the end of the day, it's not pity to watch at this moment. But if we criticise Newcastle in third position, right, we probably get absolutely slated. They probably get absolutely slated, right? But at the end of the day, we got to be entertained. We have to be entertained, right? And Spurs are not being entertained on the Conte. As much as I love them, but they're not.
It just really, really haven't been. I mean, they were really under par against Man United, I thought. So, and yeah.
And that's the problem. So hopefully, I mean, well, I hope they don't win any more games. Let's get top 4 because at the end of the day, if we get top 4, they won't be in it.
Philip says we still should be Villa convincingly, despite their win against Brentford. Oh yeah, I'm confident we'll beat Villa at home.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Too right. I mean, you know, the one yesterday against Brentford, but Brentford were absolutely woeful. And I watched Match of the Day 2 this morning before I went to work because I recorded it last night. And obviously, for a change, we were first on. And they've done a lot of analysis on us as well. But when I watched the goals from Villa, they were too easy, I thought, against Brentford. Brentford gave them too much room. And, you know, they were terrible, Brentford. So no wonder they won 4-0. But, no, I can see us beating them. I'm saying 3-0 at least.
Yep.
You know, that Leon Bailey scored as well. I don't really rate him as a player. He played against us at St James's. Didn't look good. He looks like he's a bit arrogant, if you ask me. But I don't really know the lad. I don't know how good he actually is a player, but to me, he just looks arrogant and. But other than that, they're no threat to us, really, Villa. Sorry, but they're not.
No, absolutely not. Stevie says, slagged Miggy, but now totally apology to him. Well done for his hard work. He has been really getting down to work so hard. I like Covey. It's a strange one, isn't it? They spoke about that on Sky last night, saying, yes, they are up there, but are playing poor football. Yeah, I think Spurs aren't playing great football at the moment. Miggy scores 1 goal every 2 games. Grealish scores 1 goal every 2 seasons. There you absolutely, Chris. Brentford were terrible against Villa, though. Defence was anonymous. Before Spurs get the goal back, we should have had a penalty before that. And if we got that penalty, Spurs don't get that goal back for me.
No, they don't. No. We would have been in total control of 3-0 up. But do you know what makes me laugh about that penalty appeal, though, Pete, right?
Oh, yeah, you were saying.
It goes to VAR. VAR check it. VAR say no penalty. But Chicken Royale runs up to the referee, pointing at his head and brushing his head as if to say, the ball hit me head, not me hand. And I'm like, what on earth are you complaining for? You haven't given the penalty away. They said no penalty. Are you that thick, or are you just stupid that you don't realise that VAR's actually said no to the penalty and you got because we got the corner, And it was like, what is his problem? And I just thought, what an idiot, And he looks more like he likes his tattoos more than he's playing football because that's all. But the amount he's got on his neck, but no, other than that, he's not really he's stealing the living as a footballer. I'm sorry.
I mean, he's one of the poorest right backs or wing backs I've seen in the Premier League. I mean, how Spurs fans, they must be really sick of him because I've seen a lot of Spurs fans are just saying he's terrible. They've got there's some really average players in that Spurs side as well. The defenders, the centre backs as well. Sanchez, no, not for me. I don't think Doherty's looked good enough for Spurs this season as well.
And he used to, when he played for Wolves, he always scored against us, didn't he, Doherty? And it always seemed to be the last minute of games as well, didn't it?
That one we were lost under Rafa, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Used to always have a good game against us, didn't he? But I wasn't frightened when he came on yesterday, that's for sure.
I mean, Oliver Skip, that was his first start in a very long time. Again, Spurs that have got injuries, they did miss Højbjerg, I think, yesterday as well. But a lot of the Spurs fans before kickoff were really worried with that lineup.
Yeah, they were, yeah.
What do you think about that, John? There was a lot of Spurs fans were really concerned with that lineup.
Their lineup, our lineup. Our lineup, yeah.
With always their own lineup.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because I think they're back. Look at the squad. They're back 3. I just don't think they're strong enough. I think Romero's missing. I thought Højbjerg was missing. There are 2 players who are big misses. They got injury problems at the minute, man. Tottenham, they really have. Kulusevski didn't play. He's out injured. They badly missed him on the right. They offer something different. They also missed Richarlison as well. I mean, but that is very, very worrying for Spurs fan, you know what I mean? Because that's not a strong Tottenham team whatsoever, or a very good Tottenham team, to be fair. Sessio's a young player. I think he's going to come good. He was brilliant for Fulham, but as a left wing back, for me personally, I like to see him as a number 10 or left side midfield. I think he would have done better. But at the end of the day, right, I look at that lineup. I think they played into Newcastle's hands, to be fair. I was not scared of that lineup at all. So they could be got at if we play our game. I thought we had more possession of the ball. I thought we were better than them as well, in parts. But let's be real. I think we got the right result. And I think Conte is the one who's going to comes in. He's going to take the flak because I think he got the tactics so wrong. 3-5-2. And the one thing I'm going to say about him as well, with Conte, for me, I think he's lost the plot. I think he's trying to make excuses every single time. I'm sorry, but and also said he should be playing once a week. I'm sorry, but we play 2-3 times a week. And if he doesn't like it, then he's in the wrong league.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Absolutely. Brentford were terrible against Villa's defence was anonymous. Yeah, they said even you said Tony before that even Tony came out and said that was a dreadful performance as well.
He said they were playing like children. That's what he said about his team. And he said they weren't good enough today. He says playing like children. He says absolutely disgraceful. And I thought, oh, okay, that's telling it how it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Dan Bain was close with his arm away, and they give a pen for that. Literally the exact same thing, inconsistent yet again. Yep, there was absolutely.
I mean, that one that Dan Burn gave away, I mean, that just flicked his hand. That he couldn't do anything about that. You're jumping up. Anyway, when you jump, momentum takes your arms up with you.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a soft penalty, to be fair, at the time. And I still stand by it was a soft penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. Spurs v Norris Forest next week, lads. Interest, yep.
Oh.
The Zuma goal, jammy as hell it was. If Grealish played as well as he drank, he would have won the Ballon d'Or. Just no consistency with the referees and the people who are running VAR. That is the problem. That is the problem with it. Spurs just aren't solid enough at the back to play counter-attacking football. They've been lucky a few times this season. I agree with that. I think they have been lucky at times. They really, really have. Right. Not many Spurs players will get in the Newcastle team, maybe Son and Kane. Yeah, I think that's probably the only two.
Probably Romero's.
Romero, he's a good centre-back as well.
I like him. He takes no prisoners. That's what I like about me centre-backs. Get stuck in, let them know they're there, and that's his game. That is his game. I rate Romero very highly, by the way. And Højbjerg in back midfield, I take him. Bentancur, I take him as well. Kulusevski, I take as well. Probably the rest of them, I'm just not so sure.
Yeah, possibly. Spurs, I predicted them to finish third at the start of the season, but now need a rethink. They just don't look like a top team at this moment of time. They don't. Kieran Trippier for PM. Lloris fallen down when he realised he messed up his clearance was hilarious. Ben was squaring it to Wilson at the near post unmarked, and it hit the kid's arm. It was fully away from his body, just the right thing, and give the pen. Yeah. Maybe Conte wants to leave Spurs. Do you think he does?
I don't think he'll leave Spurs because they believe in this project. I think they backed in the tune of millions, right? But he did come out and say that it needs time. Fans need to be patient. And if that is the case, I think Spurs fans may just give him that. Any other manager, they'll be gone. But Conte, I think he's lucky because he's a world-class manager. That is the difference. But they will not put up with this much longer with his style of football.
I rate Conte as a manager. What I don't like about Spurs is Daniel Levy. I think he's an absolute I can't stand him. He's an absolute utter arsehole.
Yeah. Oh, I can't stand
another one who didn't want the takeover to happen.
Yeah,
and you know what, guys? You know what?
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Just quick one. Go on, Tony. You go.
Yeah,
first.
If you remember with Daniel Levy, yes, he didn't want our takeover, but he then went to PIF and said, "Oh, come and buy Tottenham instead," and they turned around and said, "No, thank you. You can keep your £1 billion debt."
Yes, I mean he wanted this European Super League to happen as well, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
And he wanted that.
But that was founded. That was founded by the Liverpool owner, John Henry, and the Man United owner, the Glazers. They both started the whole thing off, and they got everybody involved, like Real Madrid and everybody, and got everybody on board. So it goes down to, again, it's Americans who are trying to Americanize stuff in football, and that's what they were trying with the Super League. But the problem with that Super League was it was a closed shop, so nobody could come in, nobody could leave, and it was all dodgy. And to be honest with you, the Americans do whatever you want to do in your own country, but stop coming over here and interfering with football. Todd Bowley, let's have a north v south. No. How about no? Don't mess around with our game. If you want to go mess around with your soccer in America, go and do it over there. But don't come over here trying to mess with our game. It doesn't work.
Thank you.
Yeah. What are you going to say, John?
I can't remember what I was going to say now, but it's definitely to do with Spurs, I think. But I lost it now. It'll come back to us.
About Daniel Levy.
Yeah, Daniel Levy, right, didn't want to take over. We know that, and also you just said about Chelsea. They just won the North-South League as well. That's not going to happen anytime soon. They wanted the ESL, the European Super League, right? That's never going to happen. If they did, then that would have been an absolute mess for the football. You know what I mean? But you've got to keep the leagues out as it is. The Super League's all about money, yet again. And even if we offered to play in the Super League, we'd not have done it. We'd not have done it at all whatsoever. No, and no. Simple as that. But listen, at the end of the day, these top six are trying to get their own way, and it's not working for them at all whatsoever because they know that Newcastle are going to bust the top six, and it's going to happen very soon.
Yep. Really. Maybe Tony wants to leave Brentford, but comments like that. To be fair, I think someone will go for him in January. They could do. Did anyone see Kovacic streaking on the pitch after the Man United draw?
No.
I didn't know.
I actually didn't. So, didn't he walk off and down the runner wearing nothing but his boots and white fronts?
Do you know that reminds you of? Doesn't it? Who does that remind you of? Do you remember when Laurent Robert done it?
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Ketspire tried to take everything off as well.
Conte never stays anywhere more than about 2 to 3 years. He doesn't, does he? That's the problem. Daniel Levy and Simon Jordan, absolute pussies. I think that's supposed to be.
Pricks, I think.
I could be. Pricks. I actually like that half-time goalkeeper game they play where they have to try and score past each other with feet and hands. Yeah, I've seen that as well. That's yes, I've seen that before. Definitely as well. Right, let's get to the final part of the show, and you know what that is. Good old player ratings. So Tony, kick it off with Mr. Nick Pope.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a good game. I mean, that save from Harry Kane with his feet when we were 1-0 up. I mean, that was important, you know. And yeah, he didn't put a foot wrong. Yes, he scored, but there's nothing you could do about the goal. But he wasn't really tested after that, and done what he had to do, and got the little bit of time wasting in there, which is like everybody else does, you know. The master of it is T-Rex, Jordan Pickford, if anybody's wondering who I'm on about. But I think everybody knows it's T-Rex, little arms. But yeah, no, I say Pope did well, and I give Pope an 8.
Yep, I absolutely agree with that as well, definitely. Okay, John, Mr. Kieran Trippier.
KT.
Absolutely brilliant. KT, I love it. Wow. These are my words, eh? Thank you. Listen, look, another captainly by example. This guy's absolutely brilliant. You know what I mean? If you keep him for the full season, I think got a great chance of getting the top 4 as well. He's part as well. And the only block for him when he fell to close eye came for the header. I have to mark him down for that. Unfortunately, he could have done better. But listen, he cleared one of land in the first half. I've noticed that as well. He does some brilliant tackles. I know people's going to give him a 9. I'm going to give him an 8. That's because I have to mark him down for that. He could have done better with Kane. I'll give him an 8 out of 10.
That's a fair point, yeah. Well, but to with me comments, I've just read that one. Awesome scene with our players and our fans after the game yesterday. Just so great that we are united once again. Absolutely. Yeah, he did. A fan wanted a shirt and another wanted his shorts. So he ran across the pitch, down the tunnel in his undies and boots. Poor Nate, Trivia 9. He got done by Kane like he did. He absolutely did. Right, I will touch on with Mr. Fabian Schär, and just, of course, does what he had to do in terms of centre-back. Not to mention, the pass he picked out was absolutely brilliant as well. And he's become a lot more better now because he's playing with proper defenders around him now. Big, solid defenders and not idiots. And that's what I'm glad about, because there is definitely something in Fabian Schär, and he's a really good playing centre-back as well. Fabian Schär, a 9 for me. Right then, Tony, his partner in crime, we've said, Mr. Sven Botman.
John knows exactly what's coming, yeah. Yeah. John, I think John thinks I'm just so predictable, but it's not that. Yeah, right. The Rolls Royce of defenders, because that's exactly what he is. He's the Rolls Royce, the double R. Sven Botman. I can see me eventually run out of words to say. Look, John's gone behind the scenes now. Yeah, I can see. I can see we're run out of words for this guy because he's absolutely fantastic. You know, that tackle, that block for the corner. I mean, you know, he gets his tackles in, he times them well. He's not only good defensively, had Kane in his pocket, but also, you know, he can spray the ball about as well, and you know, he can get up to the attacking third and attack as well. So
yeah,
it's only a matter of time before this guy gets his first goal, maybe against Villa on Saturday. Who knows? This guy, I can't see past how you don't give him it, but he's got to have been man of the match, and it's a 10 from me.
Yay! Kovacic,
John.
Hey, oh God, he's good for share a 10. Kovacic's budgie smugglers were not a good look. Oh Jesus, it's mad. Botman really goes through games unnoticed because he's that good. Never a foot wrong. A 10 for Botman as well. Okay, John, on the left hand, in the left back, Mr. Big Dan Burn.
Before commenting, right, do you think Sven Botman is world class as of now?
He's getting there, yeah.
He's getting there. It's not quite there yet, John, but he will be world class. I'm telling you now, won't be long.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm going on with that. So I think he is world class in my book, sort of thing. I think he's better than Saliba, by the way. Let's be real. Dan Burn, for me, I mean, he didn't let us down at all. Solid performance, yeah. I mean, he's also been an effect for set pieces too. I mean, got forward well, and I thought he did a good job, to be honest with you. I've got to give Dan Burn a 7. And the reason I'm giving him a 7 sort of thing, like, because it's just did a job, and that's all it is. 7 out of 10 for Dan.
Yep. 7-8 would be a great rate as well, definitely. Right, so we go on to, we got any others? Phillips going for a 9 for Burn. I thought he did very well yesterday. Right, onto the 3 in midfield. So I will start off with Mr. Sean Longstaff. Again, a couple of sloppy, slow moments, I've got to admit. But again, he won the ball from Lloris's error for our second goal. Hopefully, Eddie could do some more work with him, because there is some still sloppy moments in there and times where he can be really slow to get on the end of things as well. But other than that, I thought it was decent again from Sean Longstaff. What I like about him, he's starting to cut out the sideways and backwards passing a lot now, which I've started to notice a lot more now, which is really, really good. Sean Longstaff, I'll give a 7. Yeah, definitely. Can't see Target playing left back on the side the way Burns playing a left back. Yeah, I mean, Eddie Howe just doesn't want to break up that back four at the minute, which is really working. So, Longstaff a 7 as well. Okay, Tony, you can take... Oh, who should we give him? Yes, we'll give Tony Bruno.
Yeah, you know, became a father, had 2 sleepless nights, probably on a high as well from becoming a father, because you know it's a wonderful thing. I've become a father twice, so yeah, yeah. So I think he did well. Yeah, there was a tackle which was borderline whether it was a red card or a yellow card, but even VAR must have looked at it and said no, it's a yellow card. He played quite well. Did what he had to do. So I give Bruno an 8.
Yep, I think that's a very good. I mean, not having sleepless nights as well going into a football game. You're thinking he's mad for doing that, but that doesn't bother us one bit at all.
Even Eddie Howe says, I didn't even know it was 2 nights. He says, I thought it was only 1 night he had, but he says 2 nights. He says, oh, well, he never told me that. He says, but he says he would have still played regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul says, 7 for Longstaff just takes that extra touch on the ball instead of passing it. He loses a lot due to that. Yeah, he can do. And Phillips giving Bruno an 8 as well. Okay, then. And course, John, the last one in centre midfield was Mr. Joe Willock.
It's a difficult one for me. Look, he's full of energy all afternoon. Yeah, he looked knackered when he's come off certain 70-odd minutes sort of thing.
Yep.
But it's a difficult one. What did he create? I mean, he did try. He's a try as well. But I'm still waiting to see that performance when he came out on loan the first time. I was still waiting for it. But I hope that comes very, very soon. But the problem is, right, he had a quiet game for me, and I'm not going to criticize the kid because he's played a part as well.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest with you on this one, guys. I'm going to upset a lot of people. I'm just going to give him a 6 because he didn't have any assists. He didn't make breakthroughs. I thought he had a good game, but I'm giving him a 6. He didn't do much for me. I know people's going to say give him an 8, but for me, I just think he had fun and energy, and I was still waiting for Joe Willock to show us the player that he was that he came out on loan. So he can be a bit lazy sometimes, I'm not going to lie, but I'm giving him a 6.
Yeah.
And that sounds a bit harsh, I know, but I'm just being really honest sort of thing there. He didn't do much.
Newcastle have just given a contract to Bruno Jr. Needs that goal. Right. Willock does like Miggy did. We'll get going when and if it comes. Yeah, absolutely. Willock's improvement. Sometimes I just still seem a bit lazy, in my opinion. Yeah, Phillips gone for 6 for Willock as well. Right then, let's go on to the attacking 3. So that's back to me. So I will start with Joe Linton on the left, and I thought he did very, very well, particularly running from 20 yards away, which was good to get that ball back, to charge down, and he was pressing a lot during the game as well, and this guy's just really improved at this football club. I don't know Eddie how. He really, really was. Hopefully he'll start getting some chances himself soon, and be good, and I will believe we'll see a goal from him very, very soon as well, because he's just so improvement, Joe Linton, of this football club. I'll give Joe Linton an 8 for yesterday. 9 for Big Joe. The tackles the tracker back to win the ball was class. Yeah, I agree with that as well. He was doing that as well. Right then, Tony, on that right-hand side was the War Miggy.
War Miggy. Yeah. Brilliant again. Full of running.
Yep.
Took his goal really, really well. I mean, you know, the guy is just on fire at the minute. I did say earlier on that I reckon by the middle of January he'll be in double figures, but he could be in double figures well before that. He's already on 6 now. So I've given Botman the highest accolade of 10. And whether you accept this or not, Pete, is up to you. You're the adjudicator in this one, but I'm giving him a 9.5. John tried to take the half off me, but he decided to give me it after all. So I'm going to say a 9.5 for Miggy, if you allow the extra half.
Go on then, yeah, we can have it for this show.
Good lad, Pete, good lad. You know it makes sense.
Absolutely. Joe Linton is also a strong midfielder, does his job well, absolutely. 10, Miggy 10. I have Joe 8, Miggy 10. Miggy did more pressing than a Chinese laundry. Oh, Jesus. Wow, Chris.
Oh, brutal.
Oh. And now, John, Mr. Callum Wilson.
Yeah, Callum Wilson. I'm definitely gonna give him an 8. I mean, yes, he scored a cracking goal. Look, I mean, there's a clash between him and Lloris. He got the better of it, scored a lovely chip over him in the back of the net. He was unlucky not to score another goal. Yeah, he'd been booked for trying to block Lloris's kick, but I thought he led the line superbly yesterday. I really did think that Callum Wilson, and I was worried he went down early in the first half, but thank God he's seen the game. But one thing I'm going to say about this guy, if he stays fit, and then who knows? And I just hope he stays fit until after the Chelsea game. I think I'm glad he scored because I was quite worried about him not scoring of late. But thank God to score a goal like that to open the scoring, right? And I think that's brilliant. For 8 out of 10 for Callum.
Yeah, absolutely. Right onto the substitutions. And it's me, and I've got him again.
It's your favourite player.
Yes.
Jacob Murphy. And guess what? I'm still not changing my decision. Can someone tell me what he did when he come on?
Yeah, he made it. He tried to get into a tackle. He pressed pretty quickly as well, and he got fouled, but they didn't give the free kick for it. He done all right when he came on. He done what he had to do. He done the pressing straight away, getting into the Spurs players' faces. So he was doing a bit of a job there.
Suppose 5. I couldn't remember seeing him out in the game. So I did see 4. He ran to the wing and lost the ball straight away, says Paul. There you are. There you go.
Yeah.
So I'm still sticking with 4 for Jacob Murphy. He's just been, majority of this season, he's just been so dire, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's just been so dire. So there you are. Well, the other substitutions, of course, they went on too long, and that was Shelby came on as well, and Chris Wood, but they went on for very long. Right. Tony, the manager, Eddie Howe.
Eddie Howe, you've got to give him 10 out of 10, unfortunately, because he's just absolutely, he's just smashing it at the moment. And, you know, his stock's rising and rising. And any of these big clubs who start their man just better not come looking for Eddie Howe, because they'll get told 2 words. First one being F, the second one being off. So, yeah, he's not for sale at any price. So if you want him, you have to pay about 300 million to get him. So, yeah, anyhow, 10 out of 10 for me.
Absolutely. Philip's gone for a 5 for Murphy. He said he beat Emerson Royale with keepy uppies. I mean, anyone could probably do that against him. How 75? Wow. How a 10? Any out of 10? Murphy wasn't as dire as Dyer. Well, yeah. The ref pulled it back for a free kick when Burma was going to be late through 1-on-1 with the keeper late game. I was raging with the ref. I mean, go on and John, you take the referee then.
I was a bit harsh on the ref with you earlier on there, Tony, but I thought some of the positions was poor, by the way. It really is sort of thing. I mean, look, it might be brilliant in the A-League, but the Premier League, for me, I just got a long way to go. I've got to get him before. I've got to upgrade to a 4. I mean, it was his greatest games, I'm not going to lie, but I think he got the mental booking right, because Spurs players ran up to him, and a lot of people don't know about that, but he got booked for that as well. He got it right, but other than that sort of thing, yeah, he failed to give us a penalty as well. He's getting a mark down for that as well. He could have gone to VAR, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. So I'm going to give the referee a 4.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll mark the fans an easy 10. Just so brilliant. Atmosphere, what it's like on an away day. Fans never stop singing, which is absolutely great. And that's what our fan base is all about. It really, really is, definitely. Yeah, he pulled it back for a free kick. Oh, yeah, I've just read that one. Wood wasn't on too long. That's why we didn't really give him a referee should give yellow to Kim for complaining. Yep. I thought he was half decent, didn't take any of Spurs' crap all game. Ref wasn't too bad, really. Some refs would have given a twisty kin. Obviously, every decision yellow. Fans a million, says Andrew Weld. Yeah, because that's what just our fan base is all about. It is just absolutely fantastic indeed. Well, that's it for the match review and player rating show. And it has been another really, really great show. Lots of points covered from the game yesterday. Some really, really interesting comments that have come in tonight as well, definitely. So thank you so much for that. If you have enjoyed, of course, do stick the thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, of course, if you are new to the channel or if you're enjoying the content and you're not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It really, really helps grow the channel. Definitely hit the notification bell because we'll let you know whenever I am live or whenever a video has been uploaded to the channel as well. Feel free to donate still. You can still do that. And feel free to become a member as well for 99p. And just before, I just recently had a new member from yesterday, and that was Andrew, who's become a member of the channel as well. So thank you so much, Andrew, for becoming a member as well. Thank you so much indeed. Please do check out John Sinclair TV on YouTube, and of course Tony's new channel. It's all black and white TV. Both links are down in the description. Tony is new with his new channel now, and I presume he'll have lots of good content to come up with. I have no doubt about
that. Thursday, I'm bringing a brand new show out. And it's totally different to what anybody else has on YouTube. So check that out. And it's going to be called The Fan Zone. So the Fan Zone, it's a bit like a fans forum where you can come on and have your chat and things like that.
That's good.
But rather than calling it the regulatory fans forum, I've changed it up. And I decided to come up with a fan zone, which I thought sounds a lot better and makes it a bit different to everybody else. So the fan zone will be live on Thursday. A time to be decided yet, though.
That's good. Coming up next on the channel, we'll have I'll be doing the Premier League review show tomorrow. So we'll be covering all the games from the weekend and, of course, tonight as well. And, of course, we'll have preview to the Aston Villa game as well at some point during this week as well. And, of course, the usual show on Friday night, PD's football live shows. So feel free to get yourselves on for that on Friday. Andrew says Bruno's baby at 10.
Brilliant.
Right on. Bye, Tony, John, and all. Great show, lads. Thanks so much, Chris. And you've got a new subscriber from Andy. Tony.
Thank you, Andrew, mate. Thank you.
Yep, really appreciate it. Tony, really appreciate that as well.
Yeah. So I did put I put a video out before I came live tonight with you again, Pete.
Yep.
Just to welcome to my channel and just say, put out a thank you to everybody who's subscribed so far. That I don't take it for granted what people have done, and if you haven't checked out, it's worth checking it out, and help me channel grow by giving me a subscribe and a like. Yeah, that'd be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I can't see Covey's comment on stream here, but I can see it on the YouTube. And he says, "Let's get Tony to 100+ subscribers by this week." Go on,
absolutely.
I not because Tony really
knows
his stuff as well. Really, really good. Well, guys, thank you so much for tonight. Again, I hope you've enjoyed as well. And until next time, we shall catch us all later. Take care of yourselves. Good night, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you later. See you later.